It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so the markets are closed, but we are open for business, and we have Keith Fitz-Gerald here with us. Keith, good to see you.
Likewise.
Are you a buyer, or if not, when are you going to start really buying aggressively again?
Well, that's an interesting question. You know, Mike Tyson has a saying about that. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to hope to buy consistently all the way through the first quarter because I think there's going to be some rough patches in earnings.
Okay.
But then I'm really going to get on the gas coming into Q2 because I think that's when the Fed is going to realize it's been wrong, and I want to get ahead of that.
Okay. So aggressively buying in the second quarter is what you just said?
Yeah, that's the plan. But, you know, if the Fed pivots, I don't think they will. And, you know, I think Jeff Sika, your earlier guest, is spot on. I don't think they're gonna. But if they're backed into a corner, and they might, then you know what? That's something to pay attention to. Could change the plan.
As you note, a lot of people feel like they've been hit by Mike Tyson investing in the stock market, including Tesla investors, Keith. But you say, no, it doesn't matter. You're going to still buy more?
I am. You know, at least let me rephrase that. I hope I'm smart enough to buy more. You know,
Okay.
Betting against Elon Musk today is a lot like betting against Steve Jobs back in the day. People poo-hooed what he wanted to accomplish with the iPhone, and look at where it is today. I think you've got trucks, you've got AI, you've got all kinds of other things. Musk is an easy target for social reasons, political reasons, and simply because he's controversial.
Tesla's at 122. It was, I believe, just last week, maybe the week prior, 103. Guests were saying, buy it when it goes under 105. And if you did, you made money in the past couple of days. Keith, I want you to stick around, and we'll come back to you in a bit. There is no opening bell today because the market is closed, but there is Bitcoin to talk about. And something happened over the weekend. Bitcoin went back above $20,000. It was just stuck between 16 and 17,000 for months. It's been on this steady climb for the past week. Right now, just under 21,000, above 20 for the first time in over 2 months. So basically, for the first time since the collapse of FTX in November. It's odd because when Bitcoin was at those record near 70,000 levels, 20,000 was seen as a disturbing low for the cryptocurrency. But now that 20,000 number is seen as a sign of revival. Is it that FTX helped flush the excess out of the system, or are traders just fearing missing out right now? What do you think? Is it FOMO going on with the cryptos and Bitcoin specifically right now, Keith?
Big time, because people saw that run once and they want to go after it again. But, you know, this is one of those situations where lesson learned, you know, you don't want to chase something that you can't control. I think personally that the level of manipulation and the involvement of some really big names that's going to come out in the FTX wash, the depositions, the hearings, is going to startle a lot of people. So I'm not keen to get back into Bitcoin or Ethereum right now. I want to see that dust settle, and then I'm going to reevaluate.
So you think it goes back to 16 instead of upwards of 20?
I think it's going to be lucky to survive 16. I think it maybe even goes to 10 or 8.
8. Bitcoin at $8,000, says Keith Fitz-Gerald at 9:31 on this Monday morning. Back to Tesla, Keith. A lot of owners are angry because Tesla announced these price cuts for new buyers. So, for instance, if you're in the market for a high-end Model 3, the price was cut by 14% to just under $54,000. If you're in the market for the Model Y, it'll start at $53,000 for a cut of 20%. The point is, these cuts put the vehicles below that $55,000 cap, so they're eligible for federal tax credits, right? That's great if you're in the market.
Yep.
But then you have these Tesla owners who just bought them, and they feel like they've been kicked in the mouth. Some analysts say, well, long-term price cuts are good because it reignites volume. You know, Tesla's not the only game in town anymore. But what do you think, Keith?
Well, I think there's sort of both sides of the coin here, you know, and given the pun that we're just talking about Bitcoin, I think from a managerial standpoint, it's a smart move because you want to boost sales volume, you want to maintain market share. Don't forget, Tesla just became the #1 selling luxury brand in the United States, sold 158,000 more units than BMW. So that's good. But as an owner, I think there's a disconnect because the moment you buy any new car, you drive off the lot, 60 seconds after you do, your car loses between 10 and 22% of its value.
A boat is worse.
So, what's that?
A boat is worse after you buy a boat.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Keep going. I interrupt. Keep going.
Oh, no worries. To me, there's kind of a disconnect here because, could this be the one car that maintains its value? That certainly seems to what a lot of buyers were banking on, but I don't think that's the case. So I think there's going to be some evening out. If I owned a Tesla, I certainly wouldn't be happy. Full disclosure, I don't. I own Tesla stock because I think that's the play to go. I'm interested in assets that appreciate, not depreciate.
Well, you're talking about the brand, and you think that the Tesla brand has been, would you say has been hurt because of all the legal and PR headaches for Elon Musk?
I think that the perception of the brand has been hurt. But again, to go back to Steve Jobs, this was very similar in Apple's early days. People just forget the viciousness of the war between the PC makers and Apple. Jobs stood on his own, much like Musk is doing today. So I think that there's lots of value. There's trucks, there's AI, there's cyber intelligence, there's charging networks, all of which are worth hundreds of millions of dollars over time. So if that's true, and if I'm correct, because I might not be, then that means the stock is still underpriced today, Lauren.
And a Musk Twitter story for you. A legal win for Elon Musk. A U.S. district judge ruled that 5 former Twitter employees who were laid off in November and are now pursuing class action lawsuit accusing Twitter of failing to give them adequate notice must pursue their claims in private arbitration and individually. Keith, that's a win for Musk.
I think it is because, again, he knows what he's doing. The fact is, people don't like the fact that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's changing the rules. He's cleaning house. He, I think, is going to turn Twitter into something really meaningful. And frankly, I would love to get my hands on some Twitter stock right now, but I can't. So I'm going through Tesla.
As many people are. Keith Fitz-Gerald, thank you for rolling with all that. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, it's Keith here. Thanks for checking out today's highlight clip. What'd you think? Did I make sense? Is there something you'd like to add? Make sure you leave a comment down below, and of course, click subscribe to keep up right here on YouTube, or sign up for the email newsletter at the link below. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram for my real-time thoughts on markets, analysis, and a whole lot more.